All right. Okay. And okay. So this unit to my left, your right, failed the lateral force calibration step because the lateral force number is not between those two. It was below the minimum. Okay, so we have to start out at a good known range so that we know what the tire pull is. Okay, and this thing here, instead of being at 56, is around 53, right?
Well, it's down now because we loosened it.
Okay, well that's fine. So anyway, so it's about 300 counts off. Okay, so again, if you want to do a flyover, which means your load cell right here, your load cell, we have to adjust the nuts on either side to get this number to come up or go down depending on where it's at so that we get it in the right range. Okay, that's kind of easy. Newer software gives you what the live range is on the same screen as the calibration stuff. Older software, you won't get that. So you'll have to exit the calibration and go to data DAQ board inputs or sensor inputs, and then you'll find where it says lateral force, and then you'll have to adjust it on that screen, and then you'll have to go back into the calibration because we are a lot like Tony Stark. We do learn from our mistakes, but sometimes it takes longer than you want us to learn from our mistakes. So I think because that's only 4.3 software because it has arms. I think somewhere between 5 and 6 software, we actually entered that step in there to make it easy. All right, so now we're going to stare over here. Okay. When you're in regular user mode, when it fails a calibration, what it does is when you're in user mode and you go to calibrate the balancer, it remembers the last calibration until this current calibration passes. Then it overwrites it. So if you're just in regular user mode and you go to calibrate something and it fails, the balancer is not left inoperative. It just reverts back to the old calibration, but the warning message says you failed a calibration. Please contact your service advisor, service technician. And that way they know to call you and they say, hey, my thing failed, my 3-spin cal. And you can be like, that's cool. It's all right. It reverted back to the last cal. It's okay to keep using it. I'll come out in the next day or two and we can see what's going on with the calibration. When you're in service mode, a wonderful big red error message is going to pop up that says calibration failed, stored due to service mode, because we need to know why it failed. Because if you can't figure out why it failed, you can't diagnose anything, you can't ever fix nothing. So the error message popped up on the screen, storing calibration due to service mode, okay? And then it said to show calibration error, and then you can show something that's called calibration data. Okay, so we're in calibration data right now. And Steve here is going to come down here. There's 16 spots, okay? So 16 spots here, and some of them are ones and some of them are zeros. 1 means it passed that calibration step. A 0 means it failed that calibration step, okay? Now, here's the fun part. Way back in 1997, when we made the very first road force balancer, when we were coming up with those failed bits, the engineer was on this side of the circuit board. So the engineer wrote the bits 1 to 16, right? But when you're on this side of the calibration board, it's 1 to 6. It's 1 to 16, right? No, it's just backwards. So you have to pretend it's right to left instead of left to right. Oh, do they? See how smart he is?
That's why I figured it was X decimal, right to left. So we failed the first 3
Yes
steps.
and no. Yes, because hexadecimals doesn't have zeros, it's letters and numbers. Yeah. Okay. All right. So unfortunately, because there are 500 and, well, there are many generations of technicians before you that know that you have to read the thing right to left. We have never fixed that. So you will always read error bits right to left. So you can tell yourself that you're multicultural and multilingual because now you can read right to left. Okay, so yes, he failed the first 3 steps of whatever we were doing, and then steps 4 to 16 are fine. Okay, now if he goes back to, if I hit return, okay, hit return for me because it's not a touchscreen. I hate that. Well, this one is, but okay. If you notice, so newer software starting in 4 actually tells you what the failed bit might lead to. And it's going to say this failed bit equals this. You might want to look here, wherever here is. Okay. And if you notice, you have 3 failed bits, so you have 3 failed steps, you have 3 hints. Okay. So that's just letting you know, like, the machine itself is basically trying to tell you, hey, I think something's wrong in this area here. You might want to concentrate all of your diagnostic prowess and abilities here instead of, like, chasing after unicorn squirrels over here. Okay. So that's cool. But again, you have to read it right to left. If it says passed, I think the air pressure one only has like 3 of the 16, but all the other steps have 16 out of 16 steps. Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
So most likely,